We're going to start this video by talking about how to solve quadratic equations by graphing. In the next video, we'll get to factoring. So, the big idea with graphing is the x-coordinates are the solutions. Basically, all you're doing is you're graphing the parabola and you're looking to see where does it cross the x-axis. Now remember, it can have a parabola can have one solution, two solutions, or no solutions. Okay, so the big thing to remember, one solution is it crosses once, it crosses the x-axis one time. Two solutions, it crosses two times, or twice. No solutions mean it doesn't cross the x-axis at all. So if we look at this picture right here, this parabola has two solutions because it crosses the x-axis twice. All right, those are the big ideas. Now the tricky part is actually graphing the parabola. So let's do our example problem here. Zoom in here. Okay, so the example says find the zeros of f of x equals x squared plus 2x minus 3 by using a graph and a table. Now there's two methods we can do this. We can graph it by hand, by just plugging in our negative b over 2a, or we can use a graphing calculator. Since not all of us might have a graphing calculator, we're going to do the negative b over 2a to graph by hand. Now, our little picture right here tells us where a, b, and c are. So we're going to figure this out. We're going to find our a, our b, and we're going to plug them in. So our a, since our leading coefficient right here is 1, remember when there's no number, it's just 1. So our a is 1 and our b is 2. It's positive 2. It's kind of split up here, but you can see it's a plus 2. So let's figure out our negative b over 2a. Negative 2 over 2 times 1. 2 times 1 is 2. Negative 2 over 2 equals negative 1. Okay, so that's our negative 1. Now, why did we do that? Well, we figured our negative b over 2a to figure out our x-coordinate of our vertex. If we can find the vertex, we can find other points fairly easily. The 2 points you really want to find to graphing are the vertex and the y-intercept. Those are the 2 easiest points to find. Okay, so we have our negative b over 2a. Now we need to take this and plug it back into the function to find the y value of this. So we just plug it in. We go f of negative 1 equals negative 1 squared plus 2 times negative 1 minus 3. And then we just evaluate. Well, negative 1 squared is 1. 2 times negative 1 is negative 2 minus 3. 1 minus 2 minus 3 is negative 4. So our vertex is at negative 1, negative 4. Negative 1, negative 4. All right, that wasn't too hard. To find the y-intercept, we need to set all our x values to 0 since the y-intercept is where x equals 0. And if we plug in 0 to our function, we get 0 plus 0 minus 3, which means our y-intercept is at negative 3, right there. Okay, now if you remember from last year, parabolas are symmetric about the vertex. So if I have a point that is 1 over and 1 up from the vertex on this side, I'm going to have that same point that is 1 over and 1 up on this side. So that helps us find another little point there. So now you're wondering, Miss Hand, it's not crossing the x-axis yet. How do I find those other points that are crossing the x-axis? Well, all you have to do is just plug in some other random points. It says use a table, so we're going to make a table of values. So we're going to go x, y. We already have some x values. We already have negative 2, negative 1, and 0. So let's do some other points that we haven't talked about yet. Let's talk about negative 3, maybe negative 4. No, we'll skip negative 4. Let's go, and then 1. Let's talk about 1. Now to figure out the y values for these, all we have to do is take these points and plug them into our original function. So let's do that. We're going to take up a lot of room over here, but that's okay. So negative 3, we're going to go f of negative 3 equals negative 3 squared plus 2 times negative 3 minus 3. Well, negative 3 squared, that's positive 9. 2 times negative 3 is negative 6 minus 3. Oh, look at that. 9 minus 6 is 3. 3 minus 3 is 0. That's what we want. We want our y value to be 0 because that is where the x-axis is wherever y equals 0. So let's plot this point, negative 3, 0. Now my guess is that since this is a parabola and it's symmetrical, that perhaps 1 will also be 0. Let's check and see. So let's plug in 1. I'm going to have to go on the side here, but that's okay. F of 1 equals 1 squared plus 2 times 1 minus 3. All right, let me turn this around so you can see it better. Well, 1 squared is 1. 2 times 1 is 2 minus 3. 1 plus 2 is 3. 3 minus 3 is 0. I was right. All right, so 1, 0. 1, 0. Now you can go ahead and graph the parabola. Our two solutions are right there. Okay. So our solutions, we want to write it down. We can't just show the graph and say, well, there they are. We want to at least have a sentence or some sort of algebraic saying that we know what the solutions are. Since we're running out of room, I'm just going to put them up here. Our two solutions are x equals negative 3 and 1. And we're done.